Hi folks, and welcome to the Truck King YouTube channel. Today is a big day because we are out here with the new Silverado Z. What the heck?
Hey man, we're trying to work here.
Andre?
No, this is California. Let me show you how it's done.
Get out of here, man. I came all the way to California and TFL is still bugging me. Anyways, this is an exciting day because we have this, the brand new Silverado ZR2, and we're gonna hit the desert and tell you all about it. Let's start with the walk around. So powering this ZR2, and the only engine you can get in this truck, is a naturally aspirated 6.2 liter V8. Right here it's making 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque, and that of course is sent through a 10-speed automatic. Now, first of all, you'll notice the styling changes on ZR2, unique grille, you get the flow tie for extra airflow, of course the big red tow hooks, and then you get all the functional stuff. So you have skid plates all the way underneath this thing, lockers in the front and the rear, that's a big deal. DSSV dampers for Multimatic, and now let me hit you with all of the off-road numbers. So this truck has a 31.8 degree approach angle, 11.2 inches of ground clearance, 23.4 degrees of breakover, and 23.3 degrees of departure. Just like a lot of other OEM off-roaders these days, the ZR2 comes with Goodyear Wrangler Territory tires. This is a 33-inch tire, a little smaller than the competitors, but still a solid all-terrain. So how hard can this off-road truck work? What's the towing and payload? I love General Motors because they put their handy-dandy towing sticker right here on the door jamb. So for this truck right here, we're talking about conventional tow rating of 8,900 pounds and a payload rating of 1,429 pounds, which is seriously impressive for an off-road truck. Alrighty folks, here we are, ZR2 out in the desert. We are actually heading into Joshua Tree National Park, which personally I've never been to. I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to it. It's pretty famous. And yeah, we're out here running this ZR2. So most of what we've been doing today so far has just been kind of washy, sandy trails down here in the canyons. But it's really giving us a chance to feel the suspension because we're in a constant washboard and bumping over rocks and everything like that. And from the passenger seat, it is definitely a significant step forward from a stock Silverado or even a Silverado Trail Boss. The Trail Boss gets a lift and some unique suspension tuning, but it doesn't get these DSSV dampers, and that's really what the magic of this truck is the fact that those dampers can really eat stuff up off-road and then give you a pretty nice ride on-road. So yeah, it's a step forward for sure, and as always, Dad, you're driving, so what have you been feeling?
Well, first off, shout out to the Multimatic guys who, Canadian company,
Yep.
designed and built the shock system. And you know what? This thing just works. I mean, we've already had the preview of this in the Colorado, the ZR2.
True.
So we know what we're getting.
Yeah.
And
Same formula, bigger package.
yeah, it's exactly right. And between the lifts and the body adjustments, the approach decline, you know, and departure angles, this thing has just been doing a really, really good job today.
So like I mentioned, we're just kind of cruising around here on these trails, but we are going to tackle a bunch of obstacles, one of which is this hill climb, which was really rutted out, gave us a chance to use the lockers, and you can see it here.
So I'll get your transfer case in 4 low, so that's kind of your first step. Now your second step, we're going to go to terrain mode, so that's going to give you your 1 pedal driving. So 2 over for terrain, and we'll show up there. Next step, your lockers.
Okay, lockers.
And then the other step we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go to drive. And then actually go back 1 more time, and that's going to give you L1. So that's going to be your lowest, that's going to be your most aggressive version of terrain mode, and well, it's keeping first gear for this.
So is there a marker light for the 1 pedal drive? Is there anything come up that says now you're in 1 pedal drive?
So terrain mode means you are in 1 pedal
Terrain
drive.
mode
So terrain
is synonymous with 1 pedal
That's
drive.
correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So here we go, first real off-road obstacle in the ZR2. It's a big rutted out hill. And really the key here, Dad, is feeling the lockers, right? We're fully locked up. Nice articulation.
These are big holes.
They are big holes. But that's the beauty of having the front and the rear locker. No spin whatsoever. Nice and calm.
Okay,
We're
it's nice and dry too.
It is nice and dry.
It's the desert.
We are used to water.
We're used to mud. But it's still pretty cool.
And then, I mean, we'll have to keep on feeling it, but we are in the new one-pedal driving mode here in the ZR2, which, as it suggests, in low, you only need to use the gas. The second you lift off the gas, it's going to actually brake for you, which is supposed to give you some more precise control. I don't know, what are you feeling?
Yeah, well, you feel it. Okay, so here, speed up. I'm off the gas. So it's slow, like it's gentle braking.
It really is.
And then when it gets near the bottom, it rolls a little.
Huh, yeah, and we've used it in Ford products, and I'd say Ford, the braking is much more aggressive.
More aggressive. It comes to a stop.
Yeah, this was very, very gradual, the way it slowed you down. And here you can see, once you go in for low and terrain mode, you do get the front-facing camera that comes up at all times. And this is a great kind of challenge right here to see it working, because you're really in this tight area, and you can make sure that your truck's going to fit through. And it's especially helpful when you're going up hills and you're cresting the hill and all you're looking at is sky. Well, you can look down at your camera and that will show you what's immediately in front of your vehicle. So
on the off-road pages here, it says we're doing 17 degrees, 16, 15.
Nice.
Downhill. This is always so deceiving because you'd swear you're doing about 45.
Yeah. That's not bad though. And actually what I like too, Dad, is the off-road screen's down there, but you can also get it in your head-up display. So you can watch your angles in your head-up display, which is pretty cool. So let's talk power just a little bit, Dad, because there's definitely a different strategy here than when you look, across the fence at Ford and Ram. This is your top trim off-road truck, but it still has, the same standard powertrain as the Silverado has. Now, it is a 6.2 liter V8. It's over 400 horsepower, so I'm not saying it is underpowered, but again, it is a different strategy than those other brands took. I guess what I like about this V8 is it's naturally aspirated, very predictable, very linear power, great torque down low, and then here in this truck with the performance exhaust, it sounds pretty dang good too. Now if you're looking for the exhausts on the ZR2, you won't see them, and you can see that's because they're right there and they've been cut flat with the bumper to make sure that they're not taking away from your departure angle. But boy, does this truck sound good. Dad, hit it! Nice. I was maybe a little disappointed that there was no other engine options. Maybe even the diesel would be cool here, but I don't think I can complain about the 6.2. What do you think?
Honestly, the 6.2 is a great engine.
Yeah.
We've been surprised over the last couple of years as to how close the fuel economy is to the 5.3.
Totally.
So much so that I think it was probably 5 years ago that I went, on record and said, if you want thinking of a 5.3, just go to the 6.2 because you're getting all that extra power and you're barely paying a little bit more at the pump. Mm-hmm. So that said, this is going to be a great daily driver, and that's what we have to look at here, is that Chevy decided not to go whole hog off-road TRX Raptor mode.
Yeah.
They've built something that is really good, but you know what, I could daily drive this every day, not have to suck up the huge fuel bills of a TRX, and at the same time it's still in the same body silhouette. Like this is not a wide body. Which I really appreciate in some of these tight canyons here.
Totally.
So, yeah, it's a slightly different strategy. Appreciate that as it is. Did they not drop you an absolutely monster 8-liter engine? Yeah, well, get over it, because I don't think you needed it anyway.
All right, folks, now we're really having some fun. We've been doing slow speed all day, but now it's time for high speed. That's what this truck is really all about. And we're just out here on this sandy wash. We're doing between 50 and 60 miles an hour. So we are feeling these DSSV dampers work. And so far, it's really good. I think the biggest thing is that these dampers have jounce bumpers built right inside of them, internal jounce bumpers. And when you hit something really hard, this thing won't bottom out. We haven't found that bottom out limit yet, and we have come around a few corners and really nailed a couple of things. So that's my first big takeaway is we are running really hard and we still haven't really found that limit, which is exactly what you want out of this suspension. What do you think?
I think I'm really busy trying not to crash, so don't bother me now.
Yeah, okay, don't crash. Whoa! Thank you, stability control. It just saved your bacon right there.
Yeah, well, it just broke loose a little bit, but not a lot. I saved it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. And what are you doing? 4 high. We're in off-road mode, so the truck does have off-road mode, and that is going to tune your stability control. And actually, right there, it felt like it did let you step out. It did let you slide it a bit, and then it reins you back in, which is what you want. Because on this sand, man, it gets real slippery.
Yeah, well, some places it's dead bare, and then all of a sudden you get into like this deep patch.
Yeah.
And it just starts kicking around, but it's good.
Yeah, and then I think the other thing we have to point out is just that it's not any bigger than a standard Silverado, unlike its competition. Okay, you ready to slow down there now, Robbie Gordon? You're going to lose it. I do not want us to roll.
We're not gonna roll.
I'm nervous, man. You're too confident out here.
Yeah, well, it's always worse when you're in that seat.
Yeah, you're probably right.
All right, 50.
There's friggin' cactus over here stuck on the mirror.
No.
Yeah, something's stuck there.
I clipped the cactus? Oh, no.
So anyways, what I was saying is I think the nice thing is that we don't have this super ultra wide truck. Now, of course, the width does give you a little bit more stability in these situations, but it just makes those other trucks feel so big, whereas the Silverado, I'm not going to say it feels small, but it doesn't have that sort of gargantuan feeling you get out of a TRX. So there is more wheel travel here, and wheel travel is truly what you need for these situations. I can put up the specific numbers, but basically they're just a hair under 10 inches in the front and the rear, which is pretty good numbers, but not, again, quite competitive with a Raptor or a TRX. But I think the other thing is these dampers, really the beauty of them is that they're position sensitive. So the further you dig into them, they're going to offer you that extra damping force. So it's kind of funny when you're picking along slowly, the truck can feel like a little bit stiff, and then as you pick up your speed and you dig into that damper, it just gets smoother and smoother till you're out here at 60 running over this washboard, and it's straight up comfortable. Our off-roading sadly did have to end sometime, so we're heading back to our hotel now, and we're back here on road. And of course, most ZR2s are going to live a lot of their life on road. So what are you feeling, Dad? How's the truck handling out here just on the pavement?
It is softer than a typical Silverado, a little more body roll to it. You've got a little more road noise because of the aggressive tires on it. It dips a little when you hit the brakes hard. So it's showing off its characteristic, which is an aggressive off-road suspension that's designed to soak up the hits. So, but you know what? As a daily driver, this is not going to penalize you. This is not the crazy off-road type vehicle that really makes on-road driving uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great balance.
Yeah, and now we have to get into sort of the competition and where this fits in with the competition. Because we know this is, GM's Halo off-road half-ton. That means we're going to inevitably compare it to the TRX and the Raptor. And here's the thing. It doesn't feel as outright bonkers as those two trucks, right? The TRX, freaking 700 horsepower is just crazy. The Raptor's over 500. More suspension travel than this truck. Wider than this truck. Bigger tires than this truck. So yeah, there's no doubt Ford and Ram, I think Dad said it earlier, they went whole hog on this thing. They went through everything at the wall. Chevy was a little more reserved, and I think the key there is the daily drivability. It really is a comfortable truck out here on the road, and you wouldn't be suffering because of all the off-road goodness. And then the most important part is the price. Because if this cost the same as those two other trucks, I wouldn't feel as good about it. And I'll throw up all of the pricing here, including the competition, so you can see that yes, this ZR2 is undercutting the Ford and the Ram, and I think that's exactly where it had to be to make sure guys would come and look at it, right? Because you're going to get some people who just don't think the standard powertrain is enough, and for those guys, well, when you realize you're saving a bunch of money,
maybe you'll be okay with it then. I think it's hit the sweet spot.
Well, folks, you have heard everything we have to say about this truck. But of course, we have a real expert here, Andre Smirnoff from TFL Truck. So Andre, why don't you tell the folks what you think of the ZR2?
Wait, you calling me the real expert?
Yeah, you know, you guys are serious down there in Colorado.
No, you do some serious stuff too. What do I think about the truck?
Tell me, yeah.
Well, you know, I think that V8 sounds glorious.
It does.
That's a huge plus. And it's a good all-around truck.
Yeah.
It's got the luxury. I think the price is a little bit high.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, I mean, as long as it's undercutting Raptor and TRX, which it is, I think that's the key. Could it be lower? Maybe, but I do think at least it's not the same price as those two trucks.
But today on the trails we hit, I actually was glad I'm not on the TRX or the Raptor because we hit some narrow trails.
Absolutely. It's not that big wide body of those trucks too, right? And then on road, it's really livable.
Yeah, it's totally comfortable. Your seats, you know, cool you off. Lots of tech. I love that.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, thanks, Andre.
Hey Steve, if you're done sunbathing, it's time to close this video.
Come on, it's so nice out here and it's still so cold at home. I gotta soak up as much sun as I can.
Okay, come on, get to work.
Well, folks, we have come to the end of our day with this Silverado ZR2. So what is the verdict? Well, I gotta tell you, this truck has been a long time coming. Since the day Ford launched the Raptor, we've been waiting for a Chevrolet competitor, and finally here it is. Now, no, it is not an all-out Raptor killer, but when you consider the off-road performance, the on-road performance, and the price point, this is a compelling package. So folks, that's the end of this one. Now please go below into the comments, let me know what you think of the new ZR2 or ZR2. As always, while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member, and then come right back here to Truck King to see what we are testing next. See ya.